Well, okay, Laura Gardner, welcome to Australia, welcome to Melbourne, welcome to your home away from home, I hope, the Howard Fine Acting Studio in Australia.
Yes.
You've been here for, you've been teaching for 3 days, you've been here for 4 or 5?
For 5 days. We got here on Sunday morning. Well, I got here to Brisbane Sunday morning and got to Melbourne at approximately 1:30 and arrived to the studio approximately 10 to 2.
That's correct. So first impressions?
Absolutely astonishing what Phil, you, and Patrick have accomplished with the help of a few very fine young men and a few women.
Yeah.
An extraordinary space that is so near to being done and totally workable with an energy of such joy and life and light and energy that it is just an extraordinary environment, not just to be in Melbourne, but to be in a space that is just filled with the possibilities of huge growth.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I have to say that I think that's only been possible with the workshops that happened last July and last November. There was a groundswell of interest and enthusiasm for this work, the work that you guys do. And I have to acknowledge here that so many people put their time and effort into getting this place ready. Lots of people that experienced the workshops and experienced the work that happened there stuck their hands in the air, came down here, helped paint, helped do the electrics, helped do water, helped do all sorts of stuff for no payment, just simply because they're interested in the work. But I reference that because I feel that really comes from you guys as a faculty. The warmth that resonates from you, and we're very much trying to emulate your studio in LA in terms of the family atmosphere, because we're bringing in new stuff that we haven't had before with the stage managers and their approach to managing the ensemble for students managing themselves. So that really, I hope it's feeling like your home as much as it can be, because that's really our intention. Yeah. And you mentioned straight away, of course, that you'd been in the country. Well, you landed in Brisbane and then you came to Melbourne, so you've done 2 states and 2 cities already. So on that very first day that you were here, driving to the studio, any first impressions of Melbourne as a place, Australia as a country? So I have no idea what your expectations were.
I don't know what my expectations were. I do know that a friend of mine said to look into the John and notice that the water goes the different direction than it does in the States, and I frankly hadn't noticed that. Right. But what I did see was just a huge amount of space. And it feels like there's this huge amount of space. Yeah. And although the first day I did a lot of wandering around the streets, it was Sunday, so it wasn't that busy, but I found people seem to be not as... In LA, you don't walk very much. You just don't walk very much. And coming from New York City, New York, when I was there over 21 years ago, was pretty much a zoo then. Right. And now, I was there in September, it's even worse. So far, Melbourne seems extremely livable. Yeah. People are not shoving and pushing. It was really lovely to see business people wearing sneakers, women in skirts and wearing sneakers again. It reminded me of the old days. Yeah. And the people that I have spoken to on the street and in the place that I'm staying are all very, very nice. And I have found quite a few Anglos around, or Americans around, and so it's been lovely. Yeah,
fantastic. Well, there's certainly been from our end as well. It's like there's very much the sense that this is a genesis, that this is the start of something, that this is going to go on for quite a while, that this could be a whole big narrative that, goes on and on and on and on. So I feel that you're very much at the start of this story. Have you felt that yourself coming in, that there's a spark or an electricity or something that indicates that? Because obviously you guys are so established in LA. Your reputations are so apparent, and it's quite intimidating Googling you all. But being here, being perhaps with people that haven't experienced you before, being at the start of something new, how's that for you? Is that new? Is that different? Is it I don't know. How does
Howard had told me when he came back that the energy, the interest, the simplicity, not in being simple, but just the absolute excitement and openness and humility of Australian actors was going to blow me away. And it reminded me of when I was first studying with Uta Hagen in New York, and Carol Rosenfeld, one of her sidekicks, who is my mentor, of what it was like when I was first studying, with being on the edge of my seat, which understanding and believing that I was going to be taught something that I didn't know and that was going to be worthwhile. That as much as we have that occasionally in Los Angeles, I think that there has been, unfortunately, in the States, a loss of innocence, might I say, a loss of the true value of studying and of the being able to really examine self as an actor, and to understand that we are part of a journey, in my opinion, that we have a responsibility to really carry on the truth in our work. And that's what this technique is all about. And so to come into this continent where people are going, you mean I can be myself? This is so new.
Yeah.
And so I feel very much the excitement I first felt when I was studying it. It feels like it's being reborn for me, because I believe so much in what we do, and I've witnessed it in my students, and I certainly experience it in my work, that the technique we teach and the sense of at our studio, of people really feeling that we're all in it together, that I feel completely welcomed. I am absolutely in awe of how effortless it has been. This is the third day, that it feels as if I've been here for months. Other than your train system, I have no idea yet. But it does feel like I'm home.
Brilliant. Well, as you quite said, it is the third day. We are on a break. I don't want to hold you up, but it's my pleasure to welcome you to Melbourne. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.